For some reason, I keep getting horror movies this year, so here we go. This is a pretty good one. What stands out immediately is the sound design. Like, there are some scenes where there's no sound at all, just the actors. Then there are sometimes more like noises than music that helps you to see the slow madness that builds. And at points it seems like whispers, these sound effects, but that could be my imagination. The second thing that really stands out is the build. Like, it slowly builds and you drive mad together with the lead. Like, it's a slow but understandable build, why she's getting crazier and crazier. There are some jump scares, but not a distracting amount. But the real scary thing is the creep factor. Like, it slowly builds and it never comes down. Like, it gets creepier and creepier. It's like, imagine when you see things that are scary, you know they are there. They don't jump at you, they're just there. And that makes it even scarier because you cannot escape. These things are there, they will always be there. Just because they don't scare you or jump at you, it doesn't mean they're not there. So that is interesting. And also it has some really nice twists. The movie has some plot ideas that have been done in other movies, but I haven't seen these movies. So for me it's like a fresh idea, but I can understand if you have seen like movies like The Ring or just Ring or It Follows, you might don't like this movie as much because it seems repetitive. But for me, who haven't seen a movie with this idea, it's pretty nice. Besides two dodgy CGI moments, the movie looks really good. The camera work is interesting, like you see in the trailer already, that you have the landscape sometimes upside down, which is kind of interesting. It's not a distracting amount, but it's nice. I didn't know the lead actress, Sosie Bacon, and I just found out that it's the daughter of Kevin Bacon, who is the evil one in the best horror movie I've seen this year. So it seems like a nice family. She does a really great job. She really shows believable her descent into madness without seeming mad to herself. Like, I think it's hard to portray that somebody goes mad, but from their point of view, they don't go mad. So, and she really portrays this quite good. Interesting is also Kyle Gallner. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I've known him from American Sniper. Like, there's a face that you immediately see. From a pure story point perspective, he could be classified as the secondary lead. And he also does a good job. Like, he has not that much screen time, but he's quite good. Then other actors I know are Robin Wade, Judy Reese, and Cole Penn, or Kyle Penn, whatever. They are the known actors and they all do a fine enough job. Like, there are no standouts, there's not something bad, it's okay. The worst is Jesse T. Usher, which I have to suffer to Independence Day resurgence. He isn't really good. I haven't seen The Boys, so I don't know if he's good there, but in this he's like the dodgy sidekick in this movie, so but the rest of the cast, I didn't know any of them, but they all do a fine enough job for what they're supposed to do. The representation of the antagonist is Caitlin Stacy. Again, a lot of difficult names for me at least. And she basically portrays it, whatever it is. And she should be creepy as hell, which she is. And she doesn't have that much dialogue, except in the beginning. But she also does a really good job as portraying this creepy entity. So, all in all, good job, good casting, really nice. So now I'm gonna talk about some spoilers, so if you wanna watch this movie, stop watching this video. This was your warning. So the basic story is pretty much shown in the trailer. A person watches someone else kill themselves in a brutal way, then starts seeing things, and sooner rather than later, that person also kills himself in front of someone, and so the loop goes on and on and on. What is interesting, as I said before, is the slow creeping madness. As an example, in her house, the lead has an alarm that goes off, and then the security firm calls to ask if everything's okay and if she's alone. And it goes a bit like that. Are you alone? Yes. Are you sure you're alone? Yes, I am. Are you sure you didn't let anything in? And then the telephone rings because she never picked up her telephone. It's all in her head. There are several dream-like sequences in this movie, so you're never really sure what is real and what isn't, and those get more frequent the later the movie gets. So you descend into madness together with the lead. There are also several scary things that are not scary because they are known, but because they are known, because you see them. There's another scene with her therapist that sits in front of her, but then the therapist calls and it's the entity, whatever it is, it's not really explained what it is, and just stands up, slowly walks to her, grabs her and says, well, you're mine. Too bad. And that's it. So, and because it is inescapable, I think that is the reason why it's really, really scary. It's like there's a connection between the entity and trauma in general. And I think that is what they wanted to show, and it really, really works. Like when you have a trauma, it is always there. You know that the trauma is there. You can maybe even explain what it is and what caused it. And there's no surprise. You can know everything there is about your trauma, but it still grabs you. It still can control you and take you over, even though you a second before and a second after can exactly explain what happened. It still takes you over. It still grabs a hold of you. I think that is the underlining theme of the movie. At least I hope. It is also quite possible I didn't understand it at all, but that is what I got from the movie. Also interesting, there is a witness in the movie, the guy in the prison, you can see him in the trailer, and he says there was a previous loop in Brazil, and that he learned from that loop that somebody escaped by murdering someone in front of someone, and so the trauma jumps to the witness and you don't have to die yourself. It's never explained, maybe that's for the better, how the loop in Brazil ended, or if it's still going on. So that is quite interesting. I like it when you have horror movies that open up these questions but don't really answer them. That is very interesting. The ending is a bit daft, but honestly most horror movies have daft endings that don't make a lot of sense, and logic is basically uninvented for the last 5 minutes. In this case, the lead thinks she has beaten the entity, whatever it is, but it was just an illusion and she completely loses control, and the creature in her mind takes over her body. It had shown quite drastically. This is also one of the bit dodgier CGI moments, but it also explains what's happened in the beginning with the first girl. So that's a nice loop right there again. And then she kills herself in front of her ex-boyfriend, who is a cop, who is basically the other person in the movie who knows what is going on beside the guy in the prison. But he just stands there and watches. So the thing jumps to him, which is stupid because he knows what's going on. Well, at least he is pretty much close to the truth, what is going on. So, and in my cinema, the people were really into it. They were really happy that she escaped, and then were really scared that she didn't escape. But then this ending was so dumb that they laughed, like really loud, that why is he just standing there? So there are some, but at least it opens up some nice question. Like if you watch that movie, I would ask myself, okay, what would happen if he just shot her? Like, she tries to kill herself so that the trauma jumps to him, but he just shoots her, so it should end, right? Or what would happen if she put herself into a coma? She is a doctor after all, so basically she could, like, silence the thing and the cop could look for a solution. Or maybe what was hinted at, what would happen if she actually killed herself in front of the one lunatic in the movie? Like he's obviously crazy and has like I think every trauma you can get without dying. So if the creature jumped to him, I'm guessing he already has more threatening creatures in his head, and also he doesn't do anything, so she couldn't or it couldn't really use him for anything. That would have been like interesting, like a dead end. You just trap this creature in somebody who's so psychotic that it's basically uninteresting, or he can't escape. All in all, it's very interesting. I was surprised that this was a horror movie that actually made me kind of nervous. In the most horror movies, I don't know what it is, but they always make me more laugh than scared. Maybe it's because I don't know, I'm so cynical. I always see there's a shadow, so there's the bad guy, and then there he is. But this actually made me a bit nervous. Like I said, it's the second best horror movie I've seen this year, and it is actually horror. So I would say if you like horror movies, you should definitely watch this. Like, you will enjoy it. If you don't hate them and you don't really like them, you just yeah, whatever, you can watch this. Like, there are worst movies you can spend your money on in a cinema, and it is a cinema movie. The sound effects really suit the big screen. All in all, I would say it is a movie worth watching for everyone. It's really nice. Of course, if you don't like horror, then not. But besides that, if you look at what else is in the cinema, this should really be on your list to watch.